welcome to Robinznest Knits. I'm your host, Robin, and I'm so glad you're here today. Today is going to be a very impromptu, off-the-cuff, unplanned recording. It's been a little while since I've been with you, and I've just had a few things I've wanted to share, so I thought, let's just do it. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. And if you're a new viewer, welcome. I'm glad you're here. And I hope you like it. And if you do, be sure to subscribe and hit the like button. Okay, well, let's get started. Today, I just want to share a couple of things. Well, first, let me share my new mug. I got this at Kohl's department store this year, and I just loved it. It has little stars around. And I'm just drinking a brevet today with a little bit of cinnamon brown sugar topping, and it's super good. So grab a warm, cozy drink and follow along. So what I want to share with you today is what I have knit off the needles. And the first couple things, if you watched my previous podcast, I talked about our national park road trip we took, and it was so much fun, and we had a great time. And I was so delighted because I found this yarn from the Knitted Wit, and she does a national park series. So she did Yosemite National Park, and she did Sequoia and Kings Canyon, and those were 3 of the parks that we went to. So while we were in Yosemite, I knit a Musselburgh hat for my husband. And so this was the Yosemite National Park colorway. And he really likes it. I love how it turned out. This was his favorite park that we visited. He and his brother spent hours with their binoculars watching El Capitan and the climbers on that. So I thought this hat would be fitting for him. And then we went on to Kings Canyon and Sequoia. And so I knit this hat for me. And I'm sure everybody in the world has knit a Musselburgh hat by now. It's just, you start out by doing increases, you knit a long tube, then you do the decreases, and then you just turn it in on itself to make a nice warm double layer hat. And if you have knit it long enough, then you can flip up the brim, and then you have 4 layers around your ears, so it makes a very warm, toasty hat. These were very quick knits. I highly recommend the pattern. They're fun, a great way to use fingering yarn if you have enough socks in your sock drawer. So that is the first off the needles. The second thing I forgot to bring out, so I am going to pause us for just a moment, and I'll be right back. So if you've been following me on my Instagram page, which is Robinznest Knits, you may know that a while back I gathered up all my project bags of whips and started a goal of knitting them all, cleaning all my bags out. And I've done really well on it. I have 2 left. One is a Christmas blanket, which is not going to be finished this year, but I'm still enjoying working on that. The other is a sweater I started several years ago with yarn that I spun from a sheep that I raised. I raised the sheep. I didn't shear them. I had her sheared. And then I processed the wool and carded it and spun it, and I was knitting a sweater. Well, I'm on the sleeves, and I've run out of yarn, and so I have more fiber, but I actually need to clean it and process it and spin it, which, as you can imagine, is going to be a process. So I'm just going to set that aside for now. So I feel like I have accomplished my goal of finishing all my whips. My last big finish was this, and this is the Gigi sweater by Ankastrick. And it is just a very classic, simple sweater, cardigan. And I just love it. I love Ankastrix patterns. I've made several. They fit me well. They're always clever patterns. There's always something new to learn in them, and they're very well written, and I enjoy them so much. And this yarn I purchased last Christmas season from Holly Dyeworks. She had a Nutcracker themed collection. The Nutcracker has always been very special to me. Our granddaughter has danced in the Nutcracker for many years. And so this colorway was called Marie, which I didn't know, but Marie was Clara's original name in the original Nutcracker. And that was new information to me. But I just loved the beautiful pinks and teals. And it also has stellina. It sparkles. I think you can see that a little bit on the screen. And I just love it. It did pool a little bit, and I'm okay with that. That doesn't bother me. Oh, and then I wanted to mention, I wanted some pearl buttons, and I found these, of all places, on Amazon. And what I think was really cool about them was that they are like a pierced earring. So they have a back on them. You just poke them through and put the back on. So you can remove them or change them out. And I just think that's brilliant. Why don't they make all buttons that way? I will link to them below where I got them on Amazon. But I just love them. This pattern was a very easy knit, except for, and it wasn't hard, it was just very time consuming. The bind off, and I can't remember what the bind off is called. I'll put it down here on the screen, but it's it's a sewn bind off where you use a needle and your yarn, and you had to do that all the way around the neckline and down the button band and around the waist and up the button band and on the sleeves. But it's so well worth it. It makes a most beautiful finished bind off. So I'm super happy with this knit. I've worn it already and had lots of compliments on it. It's a great holiday piece to wear. So that is called the Gigi sweater, Jiji, and really, really like it. And then my last off the needles project I'm wearing, and this is the Stay Toasty scarf by Katova Kika. Not sure if I'm saying that right. I saw this. Molly on Homespun House has made several, and it's kind of very similar to the Sophie scarf. It's just a very long scarf, but this one has a pattern in it. And I used, let's see if I can find the yarn. I used a skein I've had in my stash for many years. It's called Ridiculous, and it's a Stardust Sparkle, and the colorway is Aquatic Life. And this is has stellina in it as well, so it has a sparkle. And then I knit that along with Kid Silk Haze in the sky blue color, and it made the most soft, squishy, comfortable scarf. I just finished it last night. I haven't even blocked it, and I wore it all day today. So it is a great pattern. I will say the pattern itself has written chart instructions, and it has charts, and I used the written instructions. There were several mistakes I was kind of surprised by in the written instructions. I have read that the charts are accurate, and if you like to knit by charts, that would be the better way to go. But it wasn't anything that I couldn't figure out. Any knitter should be able to figure it out, what was wrong in the written instructions. but I was just kind of surprised that it had had as many mistakes in it as it did. But I love it, and my little 5-year-old granddaughters both requested one. They live in Florida, so I don't know how practical it would be to knit them a scarf, how often they would wear it, but I might just knit them anyway because they were so interested in it. And I've kept this project in a project bag made by Tea Cake and Make, and she has a little Etsy shop. I think she's overseas. I think she's in England. But I thought that little bag was charming years ago, and it was the perfect size for this. So that is the Stay Toasty scarf. Highly recommend it. Okay, so what do I have on my needles? Well, let me show you. I am working on the Freckled Whimsy 2025 Advent Socks, where you knit a stripe a day. I'm on day 9. Today's December 9th. Totally enjoyed this yarn. I'm using the Vanilla Bean sock pattern by the Crazy Sock Lady. And she included a little mini with the set. So I did a little pop of color on the cuff. And then I'll use this for the heels and toes as well, so I don't ruin my stripe sequence. But I'm so happy. A lot of my advents this year have a lot of the color blue, and that's my favorite color. And I'm so excited, and I love the blues that are showing up in this. So I'm knitting 2 at a time on 9-inch circulars, and they're coming along quite nicely. So that is the Freckled Whimsy Advent, and that's been fun. Then I'm also right now knitting, I kept this in my last year's Christmas project bags that I made in my shop, my Etsy shop, Robinznest Knits. And these bags were so popular last year, I could not keep them stocked. They just sold. And I thought I used all the fabric I had. Well, this morning I was going through my fabric stash, and I found enough fabric to do 2 bags. And so I made those today and listed them, and they sold within minutes. So this is just a very popular fabric. They don't make it anymore, and it's impossible to find. I've looked and looked, and I can't find any more. So you guys were lucky today that got those last 2 bags. And the other thing on my needles, I'm keeping in this year's Christmas bag. This is the Away in the Manger sweater size bag. I do have some of these still available in my shop if you're interested. These are made with a log cabin piecing, so no 2 bags are the same. They're all similar but different. This particular one I put a zipper in. I made this one for myself. The rest of them have a drawstring, but I did do different handles. Instead of the canvas cord on the side like I typically do, I did 2 carry handles, and I like that a lot. I carried this with me on a recent trip to Florida, and it carried my iPad, and it carried my yarn and patterns, and I was super happy with it. The other thing, it's called Away in the Manger, and the lining is fabric that has the music for Away in the Manger on it, which I thought was just charming. So what I'm keeping in here is I've started a Markley sweater, and who is the designer? I'll put it on the screen. I can't remember her name, but it's a sweater I've been wanting to do for a long, long time. And my good friend Christy from Leap of Faith Yarns gifted me with a sweater's quantity of this gorgeous blue tonal variegated yarn. I love it. And as soon as I saw it, I thought, that's it. That's going to be my Markley. So I'm not that far. I made a pretty good start, but I'm excited to keep going with this sweater. So that's what is on my needles? I also wanted to mention to you guys that I am sponsoring my very first ever knit along on Instagram, and it's an ooey gooey knit along. I watched everybody make and wear their ooey gooey sweaters to Rhinebeck this year, and I thought I would love to make one, and I bet there's others who would too. So I mentioned it on my Instagram page, and if you don't follow me, you can find me at Robinznest Knits on Instagram. And Robinznest, by the way, has a Z in the middle instead of an S. So it's ROBINZNEST. And so all you have to do is let me know on Instagram that you would like to participate, and I will add your name to the list. And we have about 15 or 16 people that are going to knit either the sweater, the cowl, the socks, or as of today, she just released mittens in the ooey gooey design. And so I thought it would be fun to do this together and encourage and inspire each other. So I am going to use, let me see if I can find my yarn. I have a bunch of stuff here I want to show you, and it's all piled up, and I'm not seeing it. So, oh, there it is. Okay, so I'm going to use these two colorways. Aren't they just beautiful? So this one is North Bay Fiber Elemental Sport in the Jiggin colorway. So that's going to be the main color. And then I'm going to use Spin Cycle Yarns Dear Diary as in the yoke for the ooey gooey part of the sweater. So I have never used either of these two yarns, so I'm really excited. So we're going to start this on January 1st. So if you want to join, just head over to my Instagram page and let me know, and start choosing your yarn, winding it up, gathering your notions, putting it in a project bag, and swatching. I'm going to wind mine up. I'm probably not going to get to it this week. This is a super busy week for me. I have Christmas concerts. I am hosting a Christmas party this weekend. My granddaughter's Nutcracker ballet is this weekend. I have a nephew coming to stay for a few days, so I don't think it's going to happen this week. But next week, I'm going to wind this up and start swatching so I know for sure what size needles I'm going to use. So I would love to have you join me and the rest of us. It's going to be just very loosely organized. We do offer prizes. I already gave Drew a random name and sent a prize to someone for signing up. So occasionally we will have prizes to give away. And it's just going to be fun and just going to be a fun community thing to do together. All right, so in my shop, well, like I said, I sold out the bags I advertised today. I do still have some of last year's Woolen Wishes bags. These are sock size bags with a drawstring. The lining is my very favorite. I think that is my favorite fabric I've probably ever sewn with. I love fabric with words, and this is just so cute and cozy and just charming. The outside fabric is a cotton and steel fabric, and so it's a little heavier than most of the cottons I use, and it'll hold up really well. Every bag comes with a little progress keeper, a little snow globe, and 3 little tiny sock-size stitch markers. So I just wanted to let you know that I still have some of these available. And as a special treat, just for my podcast viewers, if you use the code podcast30, So it's PODCAST 30. You will get 30% off a Woolen Wishes bag. It'll only work on these bags. And I'm not going to advertise this anywhere else. This is just for my YouTube viewers. So Podcast 30 will get you a really good deal on a Woolen Wishes bag. So don't want to miss out on that. Okay, have you been enjoying Advent season? I sure have. I've been very spoiled and blessed with Advents this year. And I thought I would just share, we're about a week in, and I thought I would just share with you what I've had. So one of the Advents I didn't have any intention of buying, but when I saw the theme, I just couldn't resist. So Mandi's Makings, I love her yarn anyway, and she is doing a weekly sock set Advent. So on every Sunday Advent, you get to open one. So the first week was Mary and Joseph, and her theme is Christmas at the Manger. I love nativities. When I saw that, I couldn't resist. So this was the first week, Mary and Joseph, and I just think that is so beautiful. Isn't that nice? Then the second week, I opened No Room at the Inn. Well, there's my blues again. Isn't that so, so pretty? Now, I have not decided. I know that these are sock sets, and they would make great socks, but it just seems almost too special, too beautiful to make socks with. So I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But it'll be fun to just keep it and enjoy it for a while. I just love it. Another Advent I signed up for, kind of on a whim, was Granite State Yarns, and she did an Advent called Winter's Whisper, and she said she was going to have lots of blues and Christmassy, or not Christmas, wintry colors, and I just loved when she said she was going to have a lot of blues. I'm like, okay, so I got that one, and oh my, it is so beautiful. So the first few days started out with all these lovely blues, and now we've moved into pinks. And I have a feeling, this was today's, I have a feeling we're going to move into purples. So this is just stunning. I think this is going to be a blanket, a cozy memories blanket, or I don't know. It's just so cozy, and that just seems what it's saying to me. So I think that's what that will become. All right. Also, I was asked by Christy of Stitchin with Yarn if I would like to make some bags for her Advent this year, and I jumped at it. And she had a Charlie Brown theme, and I think so many of you have purchased it. And I don't have a bag here to show you, but I did a Charlie Brown themed bag. And then she did, her very first day was the large skein, which is really different. And it's Starry Night Sky. And it was so pretty. And so far, these are the skeins I've opened. And the word that comes to mind when I see these beautiful skeins is just playful. They're just fun. I've loved them all. They've been so fun to open every day. So that was the Stitchin with Yarn Charlie Brown Advent. All right, and then I did, of course, my friend Christy at Leap of Faith. She did Noah's Ark this year, and how could I resist that? So every day you open a little envelope, and it shows a picture of what animal was her inspiration. And I have had the best time. I don't know if you can see the little animal on there. It's a little chipmunk. And then she includes a Bible verse, which is so fun. In fact, this one, the little chipmunk one, it just made me kind of giggle because when I opened the yarn, it just looked like a little baby chipmunk. It's just perfect. All those little speckles in there. She just has an amazing color sense, and I always enjoy her yarn. We do lots of collaborations together and with bags and yarn, and I love her to death. And so I had to get that advent too. And then my last one was Holly Dyeworks. And with Holly Dyeworks, she included a really cute bag from Rose and the Wren. When you're a bag maker, you don't typically buy a lot of bags from other bag makers. So I was thrilled to get this. It's just really pretty. And I'm so excited. I did not know this, but she has a blue fade going on with just lovely blue colors. So I was not sorry to see that. So those are my advents, and I've been having so much fun with them. Okay, and then, so years ago, I used to cross stitch, and you can see these stockings behind me. These are my most treasured Christmas decorations. I made 5 of these for my family. My mom made mine for me. This is mine. And when my kids grew up, my intention was to give them to them as they left home. But they said, Mom, you should just keep those and not break up the set. And I was so happy about that. So I put them up every year. I love them so much. They came from a magazine that they used to produce called Cross Stitch and Country Crafts. I still have every issue that they published. They had the most beautiful, unique patterns in them. And it's been years since I have cross-stitched, but I've kind of had the urge to do it again. So I found a little pattern. Let's see if I have the cover or the picture in here. Yeah, from Little House Needleworks. I love Little Sheep, and this was just so sweet. So I thought, I'm going to pick up my cross stitch again. And so I've been working on it a little bit, and I've really enjoyed it. However, my eyes are not what they used to be. And this is super, super tiny linen print. You work over 2 squares. And so I had to actually purchase one of these old lady magnifying glasses with a light that I wear around my neck, and it helps a lot to see those tiny, tiny squares. But I did pick up a couple of other patterns as well, so I'm going to just keep going with it. I'm going to make little pillows to put in a little decorative bowl. Here's some of the other ones I got. This one, let's see, this one says Wisdom. It's got a glare on there. And then this one says Peace. It's so cute. And this one says Kindness. And they all have little sheep. So I'm going to make little pillows kind of similar to what they have on the picture there, and just use them for decorating, I think. Now, when I have time to do this, I don't know, but that is my plan. Okay, I think I have covered everything that I was going to tell you about. I do want to close, though, today with a Bible verse, like I usually like to do. And I'm going since it is the Christmas season, I want to read to you from Luke chapter 2. And it says, starting with verse 8, "And there were shepherds living out in the fields nearby, keeping watch over their flocks at night. An angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, 'Do not be afraid. I bring you good news that will cause great joy for all the people. Today in the town of David, a Savior has been born to you. He is the Messiah, the Lord. This will be a sign to you. You will find a baby wrapped in cloths and lying in a manger.'" So during this busy season, it's always good to just stop and remember what it's really all about. And I just encourage you to just ponder on that for a little while about what Christmas really means. Okay, well, thank you for joining me today on this quick impromptu little visit. I hope that you've enjoyed it. And I don't keep a regular podcasting schedule. I just kind of go with the whim, and it's just a little easier for me that way, not to have the pressure of having to do something by a certain date. So I'm not sure when I'll podcast next, but I will at some point, and you can be sure of that. So anyway, have a most blessed Christmas, and don't forget podcast 30 if you're interested in a Woolen Wishes bag. And until next time, Merry Christmas.